Hey, welcome back. I wanted to talk about that new Dave Chapelle stand-up. As you know, I'm a big stand-up fan. I think stand-up is I like to say that it's like a social, civil lubricant for a humorous reflection on injustice or overlooked hypocrisies or anything that could be humorously looked at that we can all relate with. Is a thing about comedy that I'm such a fan of is that that expression, you laugh not to cry. Well, sometimes you're laughing at tragedy, sometimes you're laughing at pain, and there's the simplest of humor, watching someone get hurt by falling, or someone throws a Nerf football at them when they're not expecting it. People laugh at these things. And then there's other nuances of humor. But the thing is that humor is based off pain, and I don't think I don't think that should be overlooked, and I don't think that one pain should supersede another. I don't think that it's fair that because you're in one country you can't complain about something because it's worse in another. Life isn't fair, but there's got to be an acceptance. And that's what I'm getting at. If we can accept everyone's pain and not have a pecking order for pain. Because when you make a pecking order for pain, now you got to decide whose pain is more important than others. And that's really messed up to try to judge and gauge pain and suffering are very circumstantial, and on top of being a circumstance, there's nuance, and there's different levels of safety, but it's all still pain. Like I heard Gary V, that guy on YouTube that does garage sales, shopping and resell online, and other things. He's a successful guy, and he was saying that out of all the people he's met, he grew up poor. Well, not poor, but like just out of poverty, low end, middle class, just making it. And anyway, he said out of all the people he meets, the most depressed people he meets are like second generation rich kids. So, how do we gauge depression, pain, and suffering? I don't think you can. I don't think there is a metric to say this is supersedes that. That's hard to do, because when you start doing that, then it start getting ugly. Then people start parading their suffering, and if we can just relate with each other with the pain, like for example, I find my experience growing up in a Native community and a Canadian Caucasian community. I was mostly in Port McNeill, which is mostly white, but I got to experience two worlds, and it took a while for me to be accepted by both. I was the mixed race, kid. But this pain that I experienced because of that allowed me to empathize and have compassion for others that experience the same injustice, the same rudeness, the same racism, or just racism. And then it also allowed me to branch out even further. Different experiences gave me different insights, and to extend just beyond racism, to understand that there's suffering and many, many different nuances. But when I was younger, I would only identify with my pain only. And I did make it a competition. I would cut others down for having pain that was what I thought to be less equal to mine. And I had to grow out of that. I had to accept that everyone has different experiences, and all of them are horrible. All of them are not easy to bear. So life molds you, pain molds you, and if you can't laugh at everything, then you can't laugh at anything. And that's the slippery slope. It has to be free to roam. And the thing is, they're like, well, what if people start saying things offensive? Then don't watch them. That's the beauty about stand-up comedy or talking, is that the audience will only be so big. These hate groups aren't growing bigger. They're getting exposed. People have too many friends all over the world because of social media, or just their job, or their family, or their community that they live in. We're all humans. So with Dave Chappelle's stand-up, I find that what he's done is that he's exposed this pecking order of pain, and it's offended people. But that's why I was saying, like, we can't marginalize and diminish other people's pain, because from the moment we start putting our cards down on the table on who got it worse, it just turns into an argument. Like, if you got a room full of people and one person stands up and says, what I went through in my life is worse than everyone else in this room, and my pain matters more than the rest of yours. They may be right to express the severity of their pain. Some people grew up with a type of abuse, but then you got someone else that's getting layers of abuse. So what about that? I was verbally abused. What about you? Oh, I was physically, mentally, emotionally, I was neglected, I was, all these different things. So then you'd be like, well, that person over there had it worse. That person was just verbally abused. But what I'm saying about pain is relative is that you don't know what was said. You don't know what kind of complex they have. And there's strong people, and there's people that aren't as strong. And here's the scenario: the person that got verbally abused jumped off a roof, and the person that got everything else, they're still going, still trucking. See what I mean? Like, we can't create a pecking order, because then it creates segregation. Pain should tie us tight together. We should be unified because of pain. There's a lot of pain I haven't experienced. A lot. And I am thankful and blessed to be in Canada and have a lot of these pains never enter into my life. I don't live in any other country. But the pain that I have experienced here has allowed me to connect with other people, like I was saying, getting tied in tighter to other people. And I think that's why he triggers so many people, is that the people that disagree with him, they're talking from their own pain, which isn't wrong, but they're not understanding what he's saying. They're just being reminded of the pain they went through with this material, and they're not understanding the context. I was watching a CNN interview that you can watch online on YouTube, where two people were being asked about the latest special, and the first speaker was condemning the special and Dave Chapelle, and the one that followed said something that was very interesting. It was this. She's on Netflix. I can't remember her name. I'll put it in the description of this video. Um, she's transgendered, gay, and black. So when she was talking on CNN, she said, "I have 3 dogs in this fight, 3." And she's also, yeah, like I was saying, a stand-up comic. So 4. She got like 4 dogs in the fight. And saying that she can hide being gay and she can hide being transgendered, but she can't hide being black. So she expressed honesty in some of the jokes that Dave said, that she didn't laugh at some of the jokes, but the jokes made her think. I don't think Dave Chapelle is the funniest man in the world, and I don't think he is the greatest comedian to ever have done the job, but I think he is up there. But what I think he is better at than comedy is social discussion. He just veils humor in there for the pill to be a little easier to swallow. But if you go through like the minutes of what he says and try to form like an argument of him being a hateful person, you're not going to be able to scrape much together unless you do what like CNN did when they played a clip. They played a segment of the clip, but it was edited, and it was these 3 separate areas all layered together with pieces in them in between them cut out, and it destroys the context. So you get people watching that and you're like, see, there you go, there's my proof. Yeah, but you didn't watch the whole special. You didn't know the time in between these pieces on what was set up to say those things. So that's not fair. That's taken out of context. So yeah, that second person being interviewed, they really illustrated clearly that there is difference, but we can't put a pecking order to that difference. You just got to respect and acknowledge it. It's a scary world, and there's a lot of dangers, and there's some danger that I don't think about because I don't think I'm vulnerable to it. Not because I think I can take care of myself, it's because I don't think I got what is wanted. Like women walking around by themselves at night, they get abducted. It happens. Not every time, but I'm not going to get abducted as often as a statistical odds than a woman walking by herself at night. There's a story going coast to coast in Canada where First Nations women, are getting abducted at in the last, I don't know, like 10, 20 years at a very alarming rate. Like I say, there's fears that I don't have just because of what I am. But there's fears that I have because of what I am as well. And I don't want anyone to think that my pain is more important than anyone else's. I used to think that. I don't think that anymore. I guess all this video is about is that I just wanted to express that there might be a misunderstanding here. That he's just pointing out pain and he's pointing out hypocrisy. If you think you're immune to hypocrisy, maybe you got to do some reflecting. I know I'm a hypocrite with a lot of what I say, and I don't always follow up with what I do. I think more of a benefit of a doubt and an understanding of human fallibility needs to come into play. you do that with accepting other people's pain, I think a lot of discrimination will disappear. I think a lot of judgment over the fence at your neighbor will disappear. A lot of it. It's what humanizes us. We're more molded by pain than we're molded by anything else. How many times do you want to touch the element when the oven's on? How many times do you want to burn your hand? It'll mold your behavior. You know, good, positive, beneficial, successful experiences also. You know, you get the dopamine hit, you want to recreate that. Seeing yourself advance in skill, you get better at something, you want to keep doing it. You like the success. You like the activity. It could be just mindless. It could be whatever you want. So pain is tricky. It's a very fickle mistress. If you respond to pain with just immediate reaction, you know, you're going to make some mistakes. But mistakes are made too when you hesitate too long. So there's a fine line. And he's walking it. That's why he's not the best comedian in my mind. But he's an amazing talker. He's well prepared, well researched, and he walks a very fine line doing it. And he's an artist at speaking and invoking reaction from you. If you want to describe stand-up comedy in a way, that'd be a way that I describe it. They're invokers. So he invoked a reaction, but he's not being understood. The world's not perfect, it's not fair. Oh well. I'm sure he'll get over it. But how about everyone else? Are they ever going to understand, or are they just going to repeat these talking points that are misconstrued to depict a completely different person? So I just wanted to talk about that. I kind of relate to pain, and I think that is the aspect of this topic that I would want to see get more exposure, is the acknowledgement of pain. We all have it. It should bring us all together instead of push us all apart. I hope you had a great weekend. I hope you enjoyed your holiday. I did. And thank you for dropping by. I appreciate your viewing. And I hope to have another one up soon. All right. Have a good one, guys.